Hey everyone, Sean Smith here with Dedicated Financial GBC. I'm here with my good friend Bill Gallagher with CFG Merchant Solutions. Bill, welcome to the vlog. How are you doing?
Thank you, Sean. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, a long time coming. So thanks for your patience getting this set up. And both of us are moving a million miles an hour. I see you still have what I consider to be the best view and revenue-based financing in the nation, with the Brooklyn Bridge and everything behind you there. So
yeah, we're very fortunate to have this location, and the water behind me gives me actually some Zen moments. I can turn around and take a moment.
As one business leader to another, I don't think there's anyone that can't relate to that thought and would like to have a Zen moment. Bill, it'd be great, as the president of CFG, I'd love for you to just give everyone your background and how you ended up as a president of CFG.
Yeah, so my background was initially in investment banking, sales and trading. I was a bond trader, and on the heels of the financial crisis, we started a factoring company. And at the time, the environment was very good for the factoring business. There wasn't a ton of capital around. There were a lot of transactions and businesses that had a financing need that wasn't getting filled. As we moved through the factoring phase of our business, MCA in the 2013, 2014 area started to become very prevalent. And we looked at it, and we had heard some of the positives and some of the negatives that I think we all know about from the industry. And we took a very hard look at it, and we looked at our factoring book of business, which at the time, as more capital started to come into the space and the overall market, and treasuries had essentially gone to zero. And we came to the conclusion that two things. Number one, it was very difficult to originate a good solid factoring transaction. And number two, there was a receptivity to the MCA product for a reason. And that was kind of the frictionless experience that the end user, the merchant, gets. If you have cash flow in your business and you have 3 or 4 months of bank statements and an application, you can get funded tomorrow. No one's going to call and verify your invoices. No one's going to take dominion over your cash. So we made the decision to launch our MCA platform in late 2014, early 2015, and that's how CFGMS got started. And we've been fortunate enough to see slow and steady growth and consistent growth and profitability ever since.
Yeah, and really become one of the market leaders out there, both in the funding levels, but also just in being active in the market, and both on the advocating side and to leading with best practices, things like that. So maybe if you could just give a little bit of kind of idea where is CFG right now, and what are you excited about in the future?
Well, for us, we're actually pretty fired up right now because we had our largest funding month in the month of June. We just crossed what, for us is a significant milestone, funded $25 million for the first time in a single month in our history. So we're really proud about that. And we also like the fact that we have a fairly diversified book. That $25 million was across 1,200 individual units or transactions. So it's a ton of flow and a ton of units. And as you said, one of the things that we identified when we first started and kicked off the platform was that we could differentiate ourselves by staying away from some of the negative practices in the market, and really emphasizing approaching the business from a very high level, being a good partner, playing the playing the long game, and like you said, being on the front end of and leading with best practices.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been the connection really between our two companies from the beginning. I remember going out and coming down, meeting with you guys early on years ago, and actually one of the folks on your team, Naomi, took me out to Stone Street for the first time, as the Minnesotan Like this is where the locals goes over to Stone Street to have a meal, and Naomi's been a great connection ever since. And now as your team's been bolstered, it speaks volumes that she's still there and a staple of CFG. But it's not something I see regularly where folks in the space are retaining people for long periods of time, or their focus is on best practices, on responsible growth. The first barrier or filter is focus on how we're going to do this the right way and the best way, and then accepting the growth within that, right? And unfortunately, there's been some of those folks out there in the space, but the cool thing is those, I think that's getting routed out, and there really is this focus with things like the Small Business Finance Association, the Revenue-Based Financing Coalition, these different lobbying groups that are saying, hey, we want responsible legislation here, but we also want to hold the bad actors accountable and separate ourselves from that. And I know that's something that you have been very active in from the beginning. And I would love if you just touch base on your and CFG's involvement in that, motivation, just kind of thoughts about other people becoming members of like the Revenue-Based Financing Coalition that you're a part of.
Yeah, I mean, we've been a member of the lobbying group since day one, really since it was kicked off and established, I believe back in 2016. And it was important for us to be a part of the messaging. Like I said earlier, we really felt, based on our backgrounds, that we could be a positive message for the industry and make sure that anyone who was looking to advance any laws or regulations around the space, really understood the benefits that that our capital and our product provide to the American small business. And we wanted to make sure that message was delivered from the perspective of business operators, ourselves. And we rely on capital. That's the business that we're in. We're proud of our involvement as kind of an industry leader. And when, just to double back to your previous question, one of the things that we're excited about is ensuring that this product and access to capital is there for small business for a long period of time. And we do that through responsible regulation and ensuring that the end users of the product are protected while also allowing industry to operate in a seamless way.
Yeah, I think that's important for people to understand who is active in that and who is not, right? And what the product is actually providing, because these businesses need access to this capital, especially as we sit here on the precipice of a possible recession. I'd even go as far as, from my perspective, saying we're already in one, right? And it's just, how tough is it going to be? That access to capital for small business is going to become more prevalent than ever, since the Great Recession, right? And this is where this product thrives, because it can be based off of the revenue and what they're doing, and not some other scheme that the bank is using that cuts out everyone but those with AAA credit. I remember even starting Dedicated, for their first 5 years, I couldn't get, a true bank line of credit. And here I'm a debt-free company. I'm sitting on a mountain of cash, and I more just wanted to do it for business credit. I once I got one, I never once used it. But the fact that I couldn't get it for 5 years, that was 5 years that if I needed capital, or my business was growing, or I had the ability to buy inventory to get it out there, or whatever the use case is, right? I was not getting that from a traditional bank. I was getting that from a CFG, who will look at the facts and say, yeah, you have the ability to do X, and then get those funds in my hands, so I as a small business can succeed, take care of my family, take care of my team. And that's just really a critical thing. And I wish more people, and I hope that with what's going on, more people get involved in those associations, those trade groups, and are a part of the solution and the longevity of an obviously much needed product and service, really, out there in the industry.
Yeah, I think, just to build on that, I think part of our responsibility as, as a part of the industry is educating legislators and regulators on exactly how the product works, on exactly how beneficial it is to the end user, and how heavily they rely on these intermittent injections of capital to sustain their businesses and grow it.
Yeah, I mean, business is not like a 40-hour work week job where it's just linear and it's always just bows and rainbows, right? It's you're my one of my mentors calls it Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You're either on a mountain peak, you're in a valley, or you're going into a valley or coming out of one, right? And having a financial product that's there when you need it, and quite frankly, is fast enough to get it when you need it too, right?
Correct.
So even if you may be able to get someone, if it takes weeks or longer sometimes to get that capital, you could be sunk by then.
That could be
right?
fatal. That's right.
Yeah, so it's a critical product. So is there anything else that you want to touch on as far as about CFG or the product it offers, rates, anything like that you would love to plug just so people understand kind of where you separate or where you specialize in?
Yeah, there is a couple things. One is, and I know this is a bit of a corporate buzzword, but it's one that we take very, very seriously here, and that's our culture. You mentioned retention. We have a significant employee retention, and we also have significant merchant retention. We have an above average refinance and renewal rate with our merchants. And I don't think that is an accident. I think that we're all in our space dealing with high risk type type businesses, and those can be they can be at a very vulnerable place in their economic and financial development. And it's our responsibility to make sure that we treat them with professionalism and respect. And that's exactly what we do. And we understand that some of our clients are going to run into payment issues along the way, or struggles or dips in sales. Another big benefit of the product is it's wholly reliant on their revenue streams, and those payments can be adjusted at any time to account for a drop in revenue. So you're not locked into a payment at a time when you were doing a significant amount of business, and then business drops off, and you're still handcuffed with
that amount. Yeah.
I feel like that's something that really differentiates us in the market from a merchant standpoint, and from the standpoint or perspective of our relationships with our ISOs and referral sources. They know that they can come to a place where they can trust their counterparty, and we do what we say, and what we say is exactly the way we do things with full transparency.
And I know, just as a vendor partner of yours, there's an emphasis not just on how much we can do, but that we do it in the right way. And
Correct.
I always appreciate that. I appreciate that our conversations always revolve around that. And that you guys have always taken a partnership approach with us, which, that's the behind the scenes stuff that people don't see. It's how you treat your vendor partners, how you collaborate and work together, what the focus and priority is. And I've always picked up on that. And I think that's why there's been a long-term relationship there, because it's two companies that have a very much shared synergy around how we do business. So appreciate that. Usually we try to wrap these up with something a little fun, and
love
people
fun.
run into you at conferences or seeing CFG, but maybe they've never gotten to meet you personally. What would maybe one fun thing that people wouldn't know about Bill Gallagher, president of CFG? What was one thing they may not know about you?
Oh boy! Now I have to think of a fun thing. I mean, I think that I'm an excellent dancer. I don't think people would really see that from me. But I've got some moves. I got two great dogs that I love spending time with, which again, we talk about relaxing and stepping away from the that roller coaster ride that you talked about on the corporate side. That gives me a lot of fun.
I'm gonna hold it to you next time. Next time I'm down there, I'm gonna see you on the dance floor. We're gonna
yeah,
get out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I, on the other hand, have zero moves. So if you want to see what a Midwest guy looks like when he's trying to dance, and I promise you it's gonna look bad.
Yeah.
Then you'll definitely show me up. That's for sure. Because I admittedly do not have the moves in that department. So
Lastly, yeah, we are very bullish on the U.S. economy, even though we may be headed into a downturn over the decades. Never bet against the U.S. economy, and we're really proud to be part of it in supporting the American small business.
yeah, I think companies like CFG and especially you guys in the way you do business are going to be critical for small business, moving forward. And I think it's just kind of where it's going for speed to funding, the ease of use on the product, et cetera, et cetera. There's a million reasons why it's a really great product. So I couldn't agree more. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think we're going into an 08 or anything like that, but I think it's going to be a growth season for both companies, because it's going to be harder for companies to get capital, which is going to allow you guys to be able to provide more capital and funding. And quite frankly, there's going to be more challenges, which is where we come in, and we're happy to serve in a positive way and help people that are struggling versus just hammering them. So
yeah, I just
to the synergy.
Yeah, exactly. If it's okay with you, I'd like to make one last point. And you had asked this question before, and there is one other thing that I'm pretty excited about, and you've seen this in the space over as it has evolved over the past 5 to 7 years. We at CGMS, we have largely had a pretty manual process here around reporting and underwriting, and we're excited. We just hired a tech team about a year ago, and we're looking to leverage technology as we move into the future. We still love our manual process, but we want to supplement that with some strong reporting, data analytics, business intelligence, and like I said, leverage technology where we can.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I've answered my pants to talk about the technology side of stuff what Dedicated is doing, and some sister companies that we've started that are in that space as well. Well, Bill, again, I would challenge you to a dance off, but I think that I would lose that totally as the Midwest dancer. But thanks for hopping on. Thanks for everything CFG does for the industry, and as a great vendor partner at Dedicated. Thanks for taking the time for being on the show.
Yeah, Sean, thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks for allowing me and giving me the opportunity to say a few words about CFGMS.
Yeah, happy to do that. And as always, thanks for everybody for tuning in, and God bless.
Thanks.